So Amin Abdullah, Nadir Awad, and Mansour Kaziha. Those were the three victims of the tragedy that took place at the San Diego Islamic Center. It was a terrorist attack that was committed by like two white nationalists, anime watching incels. If you live in the States, it comes to you with no surprise that they left a manifesto behind that's been discovered right after the tragedy took place. It's a very horrible situation, but if you kind of skim through it like briefly, I haven't read the entire thing. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend I did, but if you do skim through it, you're gonna find like all types of like Islamophobic, anti-Semitic, like extreme women hatred type of language. The reason I called them incels is because when I was skimming through, I saw the word "foids" being used in there, which is like a derogatory term that the incels use for women. The Western media again is just showing us like kind of double standard when it comes to covering like terrorist attacks committed by Muslims versus non-Muslims, because we all know, God forbid, the shooters were Muslim, and this was to be like switched out the mosque for a synagogue or a church. The coverage of the media or the amount of reports that would have been like out about this matter would not have let us like hear the end of it. It's almost upon like everybody that has a platform or has a voice in their own rights has to kind of shine some light on it, because I feel like the bravery displayed by these three heroes is not given enough credit. When a tragedy like this takes place, it's a matter of seconds before something bad happens or something worse takes place. Amin Abdullah, where he called for the mosque to shut down to try his best to protect the people inside, like the teachers and the kids, because there were 140 children attendees during the time of the shooting. And he already opened fire when he saw them try to run into the mosque, and then he saw them obviously with guns running in. But then one of the two other victims happened to pick up the gun off the security guard, and then he fired back at the shooters. And Nadir Awad or Mansour Kaziha, they both like helped like the situation, or they lured the shooters into the parking lot, so they bought more time for the mosque to actually shut down and then like deny access to the children, because the shooters came at a time where there were 140 children attendees. Like they were trying to purposely target children. It's by Allah's grace and then the bravery displayed by these three heroes that no kids or no children were hurt. Now, to further point the hypocrisy of the Western media, so a reporter asked Donald Trump about the shooting when it took place.
What
Yes.
can you tell us about the shooting at the mosque in
Mr.
San
President,
Diego?
on the IRS,
They're giving a briefing on it a little
There's
while
this justice-
at the mosque. They're giving a briefing, and it's a terrible situation. I've been given some early updates, but we're going to be going back and looking at it very strongly. Yeah, please.
It's almost like this misery use of words when it comes to describing a terrorist attack that happened to Muslims. It's a double standard that should be pointed out more. Like, okay, we all are for certain sure that if the roles, God forbid, were reversed and the shooters were Muslim, and then the attack happens on a church or in a synagogue, we wouldn't have heard the end of it. And that's not trying to like belittle like any like tragedy taking place, but the hypocrisy of how much coverage is giving is the main case here I'm trying to make. Why is it that he didn't label it like a hate crime or a terrorist attack like it actually is? Why is it that his response was just like, oh yeah, it's a terrible situation, and he just moved on very candidly? The problem shouldn't just be the fact that it was like two white nationalists, anime watching, Nazi logo wearing incels committed a hate crime. The bigger issue should be pointed towards the fact that is like, why is it that there are like huge like political media talking heads that are perpetrating further the issue or trying to add more fuel to the fire when it comes to the whole like Muslim and Christian division? I think that should be like addressed further. It's because like when I see a person like Ben Shapiro, Laura Loomer, wherever her name is, I just think to myself the following: who do you work for? How much do they pay you? And how much is your soul worth? If I was to leave this on a good note, or I would remind you that to try to keep them in your dua. May Allah make it easy for their families, and may He also grant them the highest level of Jannah al-Firdaus. If you are a Muslim living in the West, take care of yourself and make sure your family is protected. And I guess stay vigilant in a sense, because I don't want Muslims in the West to just become victims now. Like, I don't want Muslims to just be like, oh yeah, this is just another target that's just like waiting to be hit. It sounds like brutal, but you have to kind of be aware of the fact that like, okay, the media is not going to slow down the Islamic hate rhetoric or the propaganda being pushed against Muslims anytime soon. Now, it is a blessing that the way social media now operates, it makes it almost impossible for them to fully control the narrative. So it's good to see more people waking up to this matter. Like, they're waking up to the fact that it's like, wait a minute, Muslims are not the issue here. There's somebody else trying to move the pieces to make us all divided so they can get away with murder.
I was born and raised as a Christian throughout my childhood, and I really didn't understand the concept of the Trinity. And Allah, the creator of the heavens and the earth, is the one who knows the hearts. So He knew I had that secret all those years. And so after graduating in 1992, the concept of Islam believing that there's only one God, one being responsible for everything, I was like, wow, this means so much. I don't have to hide anymore. You know, it makes so much sense. One Khalif Umar, he said, if the kings of the world knew the peace we have within our heart by submitting to the one creator of the heavens and the earth, they would fight us just to get that peace out of our heart. So if you die with that peace, you've succeeded in this world. And you have nothing but good to look forward to in the grave, which is another life on its own, and then on their judgment, eternity. You can have whatever worldly title you have, be it president, king, you name it. Have everything. Eventually, you're still going to have to die, as we all will die. So then the question arises, well, what happened when you die? How is that going to benefit you when you go into that dark rectangle in the ground called the grave? Being a human being, we're not perfect. We make mistakes. Whether you're a Muslim, born Muslim, a Muslim who converted to Islam, reverted, I should say, like I did, we all go through phases. Sometimes you want to fit in, you want to kick it with the homies, you want to have a rep, and so on and so forth. But that's not going to benefit you anything. The real rep should be, what does my Lord think of me? The one who's going to call my soul back to Him. What does He think of me?